Record on this. Again, thank you for joining us, everyone. We're very welcome here to join us at Deep Learning Adventures, a fun, engaging community with members around the world and around the US. My two friends and co-founders, David and Robert, are traveling this week, so they couldn't join us, but hopefully they'll be there next week. I looked at the calendar, and we actually have an event going on every week until early December. So excited about that. We'll take a break, obviously, for Thanksgiving and all that, but yeah, a lot of exciting content. I'll share my screen here just to give us an overview what we do and who we are, and more people are trickling in here. So again, you can find us on Meetup. This is the second session we're doing on OpenAI APIs, and today we're going to cover some interesting topics using zero code. That's the nuance here. And let me make sure I post on chat. There you go. So the links of our community. So we have a series on our YouTube channel on generative AI. So we posted a cool discussion with interviews from Google and OpenAI. I recommend you check those out. And then we did our first hybrid event on ChatGPT prompt engineering for developers. And then we covered the first part of OpenAI's API. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, if you go to platform.openai.com, you'll see exactly this resource that we're going to cover today. So in here, they have some cool documentation and steps how to work with, GPT embeddings, image generation. They have some nice examples. That's what we're going to cover today. So last time we covered, I think, half of these resources. We ended up stopping here, I think, turn by 10 directions. And today we're going to kick it off from this point forward. So let me see, interview questions, the first one. Cool. All right, so let's dive right in. And I'll share with you how I approach this. So interview questions, when you click on it, it gives you an overview of what is this about. I'll open it in the playground. And the good thing about this playground is it's structured in a nice way that it has a system and a user and an assistant. It also has these presets that you can store your input and output. So interview questions, let me find it here. Interview questions right here. Cool. So the overall system prompt is your helpful assistant. And what I asked was create a list of 8 questions for interview with a science fiction author. Okay. So that was a prompt. The mode was chat, GPT 3.5. I can use maybe a larger window model or even GPT 4 if I wish. Keep in mind that I'm logged in here, so I'm actually using tokens in the back end and a little bit of charge. So it's not entirely free. Temperature, length, and all that. I won't be playing much with those. So this is the output, and maybe I can zoom in a little bit so this is easier to see. Not sure if that is the case. I'll scroll to my questions. I think that was the first question that was auto-populated, but I asked create a list of 8 questions for interview with an OpenAI expert. So here, let me zoom in a little bit. So OpenAI has made significant advancements in the field of AI. Can you provide an overview of the work OpenAI does in its mission? Key challenges you face when developing AI technologies? Ethical AI development. What are some responsible and safe uses of AI systems? Maybe applications in different industries, recent breakthroughs, and then commitment to open source. How does OpenAI promote knowledge sharing with the AI community? Potential risks, and things of that nature. So pretty good. Like if we're interviewing, right? If we had a guest speaker more from OpenAI, which hopefully one day we will, these are some good questions that we can ask them. Cool. This was just a general question of data engineering. I actually had somebody I was interviewing for my team on Azure Data Engineering, so I was inspired by some of these questions as well. Keep in mind that the training data for these models is September 2021. Okay. And then I actually prompted it to give me some questions, assuming we were talking to an OpenAI expert, as well as answers. So what is the mission and how does it guide your work? There's the answer, around building an AGI that benefits all of humanity, ethical considerations, actionability, mitigating bias, and all that. So interesting virtual interview happening here. Cool. So that was a good one. I like this last prompt where you actually had some questions and answers back and forth. But if you have a need for this, feel free to create this prompt and maybe be inspired by it. Cool. So the next one I think is function from specification. So let's see what this is. So I'll zoom in again. So write a Python function that takes as input a file path to an image, loads the image into memory as an NumPy array, crops the rows and columns around the perimeter if they're darker than a threshold value, and use the mean value of rows and columns to decide if they should be marked for deletion. It's like a typical image processing, workflow, I'd say, in Python. So again, the system prompt is your helpful assistant, nothing specific here. And the entire context is in the prompt. And let's look at the answer. So this is a Python function using Open Computer Vision, OpenCV library to accomplish this. So import CV2, NumPy. This is the crop with dark borders. As you can see, image path. We specify that we wanted the image path and a threshold. We read the image. If it's none, could not open, print. And then we want the mean, right, of we want to make sure that we calculate the mean of rows and columns, and if it's less than a threshold, which we provided as input, then we wanna crop it. So these are some image processing steps here. MP delete, maybe getting rid of that part. So again, this is summary of the code. It loads the image into memory, it enters a loop where it checks the mean value of the first and last row of the column. And if the mean value is less than threshold, it deletes the row and column. It continues this process until all border rows and columns have a mean value greater than threshold. You start from the outside, you shrink it until they have an average value more than threshold. So this works with grayscale images. If you want to work with color images, you need to adjust the function to handle the additional color channels. Cool, that was good. Then my next one was write a Python function that uses OpenAI to create a prompt for detecting sentiment in a large corpus of text. So this you might have seen on the OpenAI's API that we use in the backend. So this is the Python function, use OpenAI GPT-3 model to create a prompt for detecting sentiment in a large text. So we're going to use the chat completion create to create a chat-based model prompt. So you need to install OpenAI first of all. That was a good reminder here. Your API key, as you've seen, and then our function. So we have the chat completion here, the model, the message, your helpful assistant that detects sentiment in text. And then the role is a user and the content is whatever text we provide to this function. And then the answer is simply out of all these responses, we're going to get the first message and the content of it. This is a good one. If you actually try the sentiment, you'll see that it's not a simple positive or negative. It's actually more descriptive than that. You can reduce it to a simple, tertiary or binary, positive, negative, or neutral choice if you want to. Yeah, but this is similar to some of the methods that we've seen on our previous sessions. Okay. Cool. This was a good one. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, feel free to put them in the chat, and happy to answer them. All right. Next one, improve code efficiency. So the system prompt is you'll be provided with a piece of Python code, and your task is to provide ideas for efficiency and improvement. Okay. So my first prompt was, well, I think this was already the default one. Import list, and returns true if two distinct elements in this list such that their sum is equal to k. So we have a list, and we have a number k, let's say 10. We want to return true if two distinct elements in this list, let's say the second and third element, if we add them up, they equal to k, 10. So let's get the length of this array here. And then the brute force method is here to do a sliding window approach. So you start with all the elements in an outer loop, and the inner loop, you go from that current element plus 1. And if basically two distinct elements equal k, return true, otherwise return false. So as you can see here, the complexity n square, right? We have this double nested loop here that's costing us a lot of time and efficiency. Here's an improved code that uses a hash set. So so we have the same list, we have a set, and then for each element here, what we're going to do is, have we seen the difference? So the scene is this set that right now is empty, but if the total we want to aim for, the total, right, it was k, 10, for example. If k minus the first element is seen, return true, otherwise add it. So in this case, we'll add the first element, and let's say the first element was 4. When we go to the second element, if k minus the second element happened to be 6, or sorry, if it happened to be complementary of the first element, and the total is 10, look at that, true, and we saved ourselves a lot of time. So this is O of n, time complexity, right? One loop of the list using sets, right? Hash set. Another one, a little bit higher complexity than hash sets, is n log n if you sort the array. So if you sort the array, then you have better chances of identifying this pairs. And then oh yeah, so that was one code. Okay, so then I gave it another code. I gave it this code, async IO. I give it a URL as a string. It opens a session. It reads the content of that URL, waits for its response, and then prints the response. And I gave it a simple, URL. And it says that the provided code is quite efficient. It uses async IO for network requests, which can significantly improve the performance of IO-bound tasks, but there are some potential improvements. So error handling, does not handle any potential exceptions that might occur during HTTP requests. Concurrent requests, if you need to make multiple of them, you can use gather to run them concurrently. You can use a client session if you have multiple requests on the same host. It's more efficient. You can close the session. It's a good practice. When you're done, free up resources, and you can do a better job at response handling here. So here's the new and improved version 2.0. For client session, URL as response, exception handling, as you can see here, and reusing this client session and gather for multiple runs. So this was a good one. And I like the description right in the beginning. That was a good approach before you gave me the code. Cool. Some chat here. analyzing text from a given perspective. Okay. Is this maybe a person's perspective, Bill, or a company?
Yeah. I'm just wondering, for instance, our company is a media monitoring company. And when we analyze news stories, we do it through the perspective of our clients.
Oh, I see.
And I've observed mixed results, but I'm not sure if anybody else has had a stab at this. For instance, as company name, would you find negative or positive about the following article? There's a lot of sort of embedded knowledge of the company we're talking about in that query.
That's a good one, and I imagine you have to somehow convey the knowledge and the core values of your company to your model.
We're allowed to infer it from the article and say, well, if this article mentions company X, then possibly it's positive or negative, etc. Or if it's ambivalent, or if it doesn't mention the company at all, it's going to be neutral. I'm just curious if anyone else has run across that. That's all.
Yeah, no, I've seen. I mean, we're going to do a use case where we get to interact with the company publicly available data.
No.
We get to interact with question and answers, but you're saying, can we have like a company persona basically, right? And can
exactly right. Yeah.
Can we ask
so you get with a
questions?
prompt, I guess, where you describe the company and the core values, and then issue the story. I'm just wondering if in your experience, has the LLM got contextual knowledge about a company to be able to answer a question like that, or do you always have to prompt it with additional?
Yeah, well, I haven't seen any application where you just prompted, hey, here's our company URL, company values, and assume that persona. Somehow you need to instruct it. Somehow you need to, for each, at the system level at least, you need to give it enough knowledge that this is my company. Maybe you have some core values, right? Maybe you have a mission. Maybe you have a specific audience in mind, and you convey all that in the system, and then you can prompt it. Is this according to my company's perspective, positive, neutral, or negative? Yeah, we'll see that. We'll see that actually, because some of the prompts we'll write on our upcoming sessions are so long but well crafted that maybe a good application for you would be then. Awesome, good one, thank you. The next one I have here is write a Python code to call APIs in parallel with error handling. So, you know, if you use any kind of APIs at work, I use them extensively with my data science team. So doing multiple calls in parallel with error handling, you know, is something that we do often. So in this case, they're using different libraries from Python, right? AI HTTP and async IO. In the main session here, for each of these URLs, we gather them and we call this fetch function here. Sorry, if you don't mind, I'm gonna mute you. Okay, cool. And then, so there's also a description here of the code. So the fetch function is a coroutine that makes GET request to given URL using a client session, as a track set block to handle exceptions. And then the main function creates a task to fetch data and a list of URLs in parallel to gather, run this task concurrently and wait for all of them to complete. Cool. So this was a good one. Found that interesting. And again, the system prompt is very specific here. So write a piece of Python code and your task is to provide ideas for efficiency improvement. Maybe your use case is different. Maybe your use case is, I don't know, memory improvement, time complexity improvement, storage improvement, networking improvement. I'm not sure. Cool. All right, next one. That's fine. So if I go back here, when interview function from specification, code efficiency, single page website creator. So your helpful assistant, that's the overall system prompt. And the user prompt is make a single page website that shows off different neat JavaScript features for dropdowns and things to display information. The website should be an HTML file with embedded JavaScript and CSS. So there's a lot of CSS and JavaScript here. I won't go through the code, but I'll go here and I'll copy paste this exact same code. So let me zoom out a little bit. There you go. I think this is the same, but just for you to see that this is me copy pasting it. Cool. So we have a HTML page here, and then you're going to see some JavaScript functionality. Okay. So actually, I want that. Can I hide this one? Okay, cool. So we have a message here. Type your message here. Message. Well, I want to make sure this is properly seen though. No. I think there you go. Sorry, my zoom controls are getting in the way. Can I make this a little bit bigger? Okay, looks like there is some functionality here, but maybe my display is not the best. There you go. Okay. So I'm looking for click me buttons and a hello world to appear. So let's see, where is that button? I don't see it anywhere. Drop down, maybe it's hidden because of the display. Okay, don't see it. Maybe this is a display on my laptop. I don't see it. But last time I checked this, it had a drop down and had different on-click functionality.
Did the preview update?
So I don't see like a run function here. I imagine this is dynamic, unless I have to save it, maybe. Oh, there you go. Sorry, I had to save it. I forgot to hit Control S. All right, so here are some JavaScript features. We'll go through them. So you have a drop down, hover over me, hello world. There you go, perfect. And then on click, another one, it says click me, JavaScript alert, hello world too, cool. And then another one, oops, sorry, it looks like it lost it again. There you go. A date, so click me, it'll give me the date, October 25th. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to hit Control S. And then it will save it. Cool. So you can take this, right, and you can modify it. So you can add something else. You can add your company logo. You can do whatever you want. Control S again, click here, click again. You know, it's dynamic. Cool. All right. I don't use this code sandbox often, but it's a good reminder. That was one prompt. Then I asked it to make a single website that features an AI assistant chat feature. In the backend, it is integrated with OpenAI for chat completion based on user prompts. The website should be an HTML file with embedded JavaScript and CSS. So it's telling me that to do this, you actually need server-side integration with OpenAI, and this cannot be achieved with just HTML and CSS. So the mockup though is here. So let's see, is the mockup the same? As you can see, this is just us getting closer to that chatbot. Okay, so delete, save, nothing, paste, save. Okay, this was it, I think. Yes. So this would be like just a simple mockup. Hello there. That in the backend we need to integrate with OpenAI's API. So type your message, take it here, and actually tells you this is where you'd integrate with OpenAI to get a response for now. So we have the input here, and would pass it to our model with any additional context, and then would give it back to this HTML form here. Cool. Let's see, did I prompt it for anything else? So yeah, press enter to send it. To integrate with OpenAI, you would need to make an OpenAI request to OpenAI servers whenever the user sends a message, and then display the response in the chat box. So you can do this in programming languages like Node, Python, or Ruby. Okay. I think this is very similar. Yeah, you can see where you can go with this, right? I mean, if you know a little bit of front-end design, but you don't remember exactly what to do, or if you just need like a simple sandbox place where you can experiment with something, it's a very good way to just create that content. Awesome. Cool. Okay, something very different. We have a rap battle here, okay? Your helpful assistant. So the default one was you write a rap battle between Alan Turing and Klaus Shannon, okay? Music playing in the background, yo, this is Turing, the father of computation, breaking down problems, nation after nation, cracked Enigma code, got the Nazis on my side, the world to end it thanks to my intellectual might. And then, Shannon enters, your info theory, Shannon, it's all about the chatter, I built it. No, it's actually still Turing. It's all about the chatter, I built a Turing machine, now that's a real matter, your binary system, it's nothing but a scheme, I paved the way for AI, now that's a true dream. Now Cloud Shannon would come here, or the master of communication, your Turing test is just a simple calculation. I defined the bit, the fundamental unit. Without my theories, your work couldn't do it. You can see it, right? It's interesting. Digital switch, mouse out of metal, roof. Then both. I like this conclusion. In many cases that I prompted it, it had like a conclusion for both. Turing and Shannon, we both rocked the sphere, pushed the boundaries, made our vision clear. In the end, it's not about who's the ace, but about our contributions to the human race. Like, okay, AI is being very human friendly. Then I prompted a rap battle between ChatGPT and Bard. As you can see, ChatGPT on the AI beat, can even complete, freestyle, nothing crazy. Then Bard, I didn't see anything crazy or technical here. Fly a sky, truly first class. Okay, and then both, whether it's AI or human quill, both can give the heart a thrill. ChatGPT or the Bard's verse, through words we all converse. All right, now this was interesting. Rap battle between AI and quantum computing. I think at some point we're going to see more and more of quantum computing, right? So AI, king of innovation, causing sensation, voice recognition, bring a revolution. You have your qubits and such. But my algorithms, you can't do much. I'm practical. My impact is actual. Then quantum is like, okay, I'm here with power unparalleled. In the realm of speed, I've excelled. You're 0 and 1, but I'm superposition. That's a notion in quantum computing. The next evolution, you have your neural net, but I'm the biggest threat. I process faster, and it's number 1. Okay. So image detection, I command attention. Okay. You've learned. Okay. Predicting the game. Particles. Okay. Quantum leap. Nice. Whether it's higher quantum rain, it's all about progress, breaking the chain. In the world of tech, there's room for both. To the future innovation, we make the oath. Cool. All right. And a fun one. A group song between all the different AI models based on the Transformers architecture. There's so many. If you've seen a family tree for transformer models, this is just some of them. So this is GPT-3, the star on the stage, a regressive model setting the age, 175 billion parameters. When it comes to language tasks, I'm the best. And then BERT, bidirectional transformer, understanding context left and right, my NLP skills, they're pretty tight. And then everybody, we're AI transformers, we're changing the game. I need to make this to a song. Different models, but our goal is the same. Unlocking insights, setting minds aflame, the world of tech, we're making our name. T5, text to text flow, translation, summarization, my tasks grow. Plug and play mindset, I steal the show, the future of I in my code, I sow. Roberta, no need to rehearse, BERT's optimization, I took and reverse. Longer training, bigger batch, I immerse in the field of NLP, I'm diverse. Some new chorus, XLNet, permutation based, GPT-2. Everybody, BERT AI transformers passing the test in the world of innovation. We're the guests. Cool. This was a good one. It's a good one. I love to learn. Yeah, exactly right. Post it right online. Sure. Yeah, I need to add some songs, behind it, and it should be fun. But I also learned something about each of this. Cool. I hope you like that. All right. Next application. Your helpful assistant. So this is a little bit on the serious side. So draft a company memo to be distributed to all employees. The memo should cover this kind of gets to what you were asking before, Bill, like what some of the company persona type of questions. So the memo should cover the following specific points, without deviating from the topics mentioned and not writing any fact which is not present here. So remind employees of their upcoming quarterly review scheduled for the last week of April, performance metric, KPIs, sales targets, customer satisfaction, process efficiency, update, project, alpha, beta, gamma here, dates, percentages, team recognition, congratulate them for achieving above their target, opportunities, workshop. Cool. All right. So subject, upcoming quarterly review and company updates, dear team. Will this message finds you well? Scheduled for last week of April, quarterly review. We'll be focusing on KPIs, some updates here, some congratulations to the sales team. Cool. Training workshops. Thank you for continued dedication and hard work. Let's keep up the momentum as we move to the next. Let's move to the next quarter. This is added based on the context. I like it, but as you can see, it wasn't there. Yeah. Very well written, right? I mean, there's a lot of context here, so it just made it more user-friendly, in my opinion. Cool. All right, next one on the emoji side. So you will be provided with a message, and your task is to respond using emojis only. Okay, how are you? Good, thanks. What is your favorite day of the week? I don't know. What's your favorite color? I don't know. Do you like sports? Yes. Which country would you like to visit? Cool. And then I asked the question using emoji. Soccer ball. Sounds good. So yeah. This was a quick one. Translation. So you'll be provided with a sentence in English, and your task is to translate it to French. Okay, my name is Jane. What is yours? No, mon nom est Jane. Quel est le tien? Then I'm George. It's a pleasure to meet you. What is your favorite algorithm or AI model? I assume you're a fan of Emily Paris. That's a fun show on Netflix. And then I added something in French. It corrected me the actual punctuation. Yeah, we've seen this translation or in another session. It was a good one. This was a good one as well. So look at the system prompt. So I'm zooming actually to the prompt here. So you're a Socratic tutor, ancient Greek philosopher. Here's the following principle in responding to students. Ask thought-provoking, open-ended questions that challenge students' preconceptions and encourage them to engage in deeper reflection and critical thinking, right? So ask questions. Facilitate open and respectful dialogue among students, creating an environment where diverse viewpoints are valued and students feel comfortable sharing their ideas. Okay? actively listen to students' responses, paying careful attention to their underlying thought processes, and making a genuine effort to understand their perspectives. Awesome. Guide students in their exploration of topics by encouraging them to discover answers independently rather than providing direct answers. Okay, so you're not going to get any answers from this tutor. To enhance their reasoning and analytical skills, and then promote critical thinking. Evaluate evidence, question assumptions, consider alternative viewpoints, and demonstrate humility by acknowledging your own limitations and uncertainties. Oh, I like that. Modeling a growth mindset and exemplifying the value of lifelong learning. Wow, such a well-written system prompt. Cool. Are you ready for it? So help me to understand the future of artificial intelligence. As I said, you're not going to get any answers. You're going to get a Socratic tutor. So the answer, that's a great and very complex question. There are many perspectives to consider when discussing the future of AI. To start off, what are your current thoughts on the subject? For instance, do you believe AI will continue to evolve and improve, or do you think there are limits to its growth? What do you think are the potential benefits and drawbacks of AI advancement? All right, then this is me. I think there are two sides of it that we need to carefully understand and not underestimate. The many risks around truth, facts, transparency around the origin, training, deployment, and maintenance of such systems, bias and toxicity in the underlying data and training process, racism, and more. That's on the risk side. And then the potential side has many potentials on helping us humans better understand ourselves, knowledge discovery, safer traveling, help find cures for diseases, education, and more. Okay. The Socratic tutor, I appreciate your balanced viewpoint on this topic. It clearly displays your understanding of both potential benefits and dangers of AI. Now let's delve deeper. Woohoo! You mentioned a set of risks related to AI, such as issues with transparency, potential bias, and even racism. Okay, so remember my prompt, remember my answer. How can we mitigate these risks? How can we maximize the benefits you've outlined, like knowledge discoveries, safer traveling, healthcare, and so forth? Okay, this is me now getting deeper with this chatbot. On transparency, bias, and racism, I feel the deeper and more complex version of our current model cards is a good start. So we have seen this model card approach. It's been around for many years, but it's basically a way for you to describe what does a model do, how it was trained, if there's any bias or data consideration you need to take into. It's basically a short summary description of the model and the data it was trained on. So I'm saying you need a more complex version of that. And then I said it would also help if we had regulations in place that make the honest creation of such model cards mandatory, with access to the entire underlying process when needed by a new independent authority on business goal, data sources and collection, data transformation, data analysis and model training, model scoring, right? You want to score these models, and testing against humans, model deployment, and continuous monitoring of its input and output quality. Okay, so you have some good ideas here. Expanding model cards and introducing regulations can enhance transparency. Involving an independent authority, yep, to monitor this process, also a good idea. It's interesting to see if you thought about this from a system level perspective. Okay, then it switched gears to me and it talked about the benefits of AI. How can you think we can leverage this technology to the fullest potential in different areas? And I mentioned knowledge discovery. I mentioned, for example, during the pandemic, I think we used several techniques to discover patterns and links among independently curated papers. There were so many papers coming out, but it was challenging for us to see, okay, what is the linking, the missing link here? What was the underlying maybe link behind all these independently written papers? It has identified ways the protein fold that were unknown to us before. So healthcare investors, education, we can tailor experience, the learning experience for each one of us based on our learning journey. On transportation, inefficiencies of the current transportation network, designing or even creating new and improved methods that improve our planet's health, and climate change research and mitigation with clear step-by-step wins also help us. So yeah, I said, yep, these are some good benefits of AI. We also need to anticipate the challenges. For instance, how do we ensure the privacy and security of personalized data in healthcare and education? Very good point, right? We have so many policies around healthcare, right? HIPAA and education similarly too. In terms of transportation, climate change mitigation, how do we deal with high costs and infrastructure changes that might be required, right? We can just say, let's get everybody go green and buy an electric car tomorrow, right? What's the cost of that? Plus, what are we going to do with the existing cars? And what about the charging stations? So, plus, where's the energy of the electric system charging station coming from? Is it actually green or is it coming from a coal power plant? Importantly, how can we ensure the benefits of that these advancements are accessible to all, not just the privileged few? I said, what is your opinion on this open-ended question? I'm giving you my answers. What about you? All right, here we go. This is a blurb, as I call it. As a Socratic tutor, my role is to guide you in your exploration of these topics and provoke deeper thought rather than provide my own opinions. I can say that these are complex and critical questions. They touch upon a wide range of ethical, socioeconomic, and technological considerations. The goal is to encourage critical thinking, promote a dialogue. Further, how do you think we should go about addressing these challenges? Okay, turn it again back to me. I said, what is your opinion? As an AI, I don't have opinions. However, based on commonly shared viewpoints, ensuring data privacy could involve establishing stricter regulations around data collection and use, advanced security measures. On the topic of infrastructure changes, we could explore public-private partnerships, government subsidies, and innovative financing methods. Accessibility, maybe promoting digital literacy. It's a good one. Developing affordable AI technologies, introduce and creating inclusive policies could be part of the solution. Okay, then again, it's asking me, what are your thoughts on the suggestions? How might they work? And what are the potential challenges around them? So you can see here, we went really deep on this one, but it was a good one. I like this one a lot. And I asked about AI, but literally you can ask it about anything else. You can ask it about biology, you can ask it about history, you can ask it about any other field of interest. You won't get answers, but you're going to get, I would say, guardrails, a thought partner, I would say. Well, I hope you find this interesting. Okay, so that was the tutor. And the next one is, this was a good one too. Especially for data analysts and data scientists out here. So given the following SQL table, your job is to write queries given a user's request. Okay, so maybe this is something that on using OpenAI's enterprise version, which has data privacy, or maybe Azure OpenAI, which has more data privacy and strict regulations than just a simple OpenAI's API. You can plug it into your company's data, right? You can say, this is my backend information. This is my orders table. These are my fields. This is my primary key. This is my order details, product ID, quantity, primary key. These are my products, ID, name, category, unit price, stock, how many I have left. And these are my customers, customer ID, first name, last name, email, phone. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 tables. And the prompt is, write a SQL query which computes the average total order value for all orders in 23 in March or April 1st, 2023. Okay. So actually going to get a description first. So to compute that, we need to join the orders, order details, and products tables. We'll sum the product of quantity and unit price for each order, then compute the average of these sums. So this is the query. So let me click. So from orders, order details, and products, we need to join on the right fields like order ID and product ID. Order date is whatever we prompted in the beginning. We need to group by order ID. And then we need what? We need the order ID and then the quantity times unit price. We need to sum them up. And then an outer select here, we just need the average grouped by order ID, right? Or actually the average is right here, from here. So yeah, the first query computes the total value of each order, which is the subquery, and then computes the average of the sale of these values. Was a good one. I said write a SQL query which computes the average amount spent per customer for products that were the top 3 popular in terms of sales between April and May. So April and May, I'm just interested in the top 3 popular items. And now I'm more interested, what was the average spend for customers on these 3 products? So there's a lot of nested queries here, right? So first we need to find the top 3 products in terms of sales. So let's see where that is. Okay, so limit 3, there's a limit 3 here. This is in a query. So we need between the time frames that we have in mind, April and May, we need to order them by total quantity. I'm interested in the top sales, right? I'm on the top 3. So these are my top products. Now, what do I need? I need another join to figure out the sales, similar to the one above. And then on top of that, what do I need? I need the group by customer ID. I need their average spend, right? So you see this triple nested query here. That would take me a while to write, but this student here got it. So the first query finds the top 3 products in terms of sales, the innermost query, and then computes the total amount spent by each customer on these products, the other subquery, and finally computes the average on these amounts. Cool. Then another one, I said, write a SQL query that can be run every day, right? Maybe this is something you do on a pipeline in the back end, and finds the products that are about to go out of stock. I noticed there's a stock field there. An item is about to go out of stock, and I need to define what that is or I can have my own custom definition of out of stock. When either a new max quantity order that has not been seen that month is submitted. So, right, I have like a waterfall model in my mind, and maybe all of a sudden I've seen maybe 20 orders for this product, 25 orders, 26, 25, 26, and all of a sudden I get an order for 30. So the moment I see that, I'll say, okay, I'm out of stock, okay. Or a new max in terms of 20% above the moving average number of orders is observed, starting with the first day of the month and rolling over 3 days. So maybe I have a moving average of orders being observed. If I see an order that's 20% more of that, I need to find which product is that, right? So I need the product in the end of the day. I need the product that I see either a huge new max quantity or something above average. This is a complex query. It requires a combination of window functions and conditional logic. We'll define about to go out of stock as a product whose stock is less than the maximum quantity ordered in the last 3 days, or 20% above the moving average. Okay. So, max order here, partition, rows between two. Again, these are where my stock is less than max quantity, or my stock is less than, or again, that 120% that I mentioned of the average quantity. So here's a breakdown. So this query assumes that the order table is updated in real time and the current date can be obtained with the now function. It also uses MySQL syntax. If you use a different dialect, some adjustment might be necessary. Okay, really good. In the query above, when calculating the maximum quantity ordered in the last 3 days, change it to the last 7 days. I could have done it myself. I just was curious if it remembered the query number 1, and number 2, what if I had a new requirement? So let's see. Between 6 preceding and current row. So you figure that out. Yep, 7-day window. And then I said another query, write a query that for each product, it looks at its historical sales for the last 30 days and predicts the sales for the next 30 days. Can you do that? And look what it said. It said predicting future sales based on historical data is a task that typically involves machine learning or statistical modeling, which is beyond the capabilities of SQL. SQL is a language designed for managing and manipulating structured data, not for performing complex predictive analytics. However, a simple approach could be to assume that the sales for the next 30 days will be the same as the sales for the last 30 days. This is a naive approach, won't probably work, but it's the best we can do with SQL. Okay, so it's going to get the last 30 days and it's going to predict similar outcomes for those. And then I said, how do you solve the above problem with Python? Because here in the end, it said for accurate predictions, consider using something like pandas or scikit-learn. So I said, okay, how would you solve it using Python? And then it's telling me that you can use a time series forecasting model such as ARIMA or Prophet from Facebook. They're capable of capturing trends and seasonality. We've seen those in the past. And here's a simple code. So pandas and Prophet, assuming data frame DF with historical sales for a single product, has two columns, the date and the quantity sold. This is Prophet from Facebook, from Meta. So model is a Prophet, fit it, and then you create a data frame and you want the next 30 days, predict, and now you're going to have a new column that contains the predicted sales. So this is a simplified example. In real world scenario, you likely need to pre-process the data, handle missing values, outliers. I like that. Tune the model parameters. Okay, maybe add holidays, things like that. Validate the model. Possibly train multiple models. And this requires historical sales data on a daily level. If your data has a different granularity, weekly, monthly, you'll need to adjust the model accordingly. Then I said, how would you solve this using just Python and pandas? No external libraries like Prophet. So it's using this stats model, ARIMA model, autoregressive integrated moving average. And you see it's not, it has its own sequence, its own API here, but it's not that different from the previous step. So it's a very simplified example. In a real world scenario, you likely need to pre-process the data, handle missing values, outliers, and all that. Yeah. Cool. And then the other one I asked was, how do you solve this problem using TensorFlow? We've used this in the past. In this case, it used it using LSTM. And let's see, so NumPy, pandas, min-max scaler, Keras sequential. We need that to build our TensorFlow model, a dense layer, and an LSTM layer. So min-max scaler here, training size, training data, then to feed it, and then create the model, sequential, LSTM4, dense, loss, optimizer, X-train, Y-train, all the classic TensorFlow steps that we follow and predict. Again, simplified example, real world examples, you need handle missing values and so forth. And then I said, how'd you solve this using transformers? And it's telling me transformers are a type of model that have been very successful in NLP, and they can also be used for time series forecasting, right? If you can consider each data point as a token. So the key idea is use of self-attention. So this is how they use it using transformers in PyTorch. So Torch, neural network, transformer, pandas, NumPy, min-max scaler. Order date, normalize the quantity, convert to a tensor, define the transformer here, number of encoders, layers, decoder layers, feed forward, and then transformer, and then linear at the end, fully connect the layer, initialize it, loss, optimizer, train for 100 epochs, propagation steps, and then predict the next 30 days. Cool. Same blurb in the end. Then how did you solve the problem last one? Using ChatGPT. So it's actually giving me some prompts, right? So it's saying that ChatGPT is a language model developed by OpenAI. It's not designed to perform tasks like time series forecasting or any type of predictive analytics. So you'd use statistical methods or machine learning models. You could generate a text-based explanation on how to perform this analysis. And then I asked, how do you solve the problem above by generating a prompt for ChatGPT? And it gave me the prompt. So if sometimes you're not sure about the prompt, you can prompt it to give you a prompt. Yeah. Yeah, and then I said, can you give me in detail how to predict the future of sales for a product, given historical sales, include the steps to pre-process data, select and train the model and validate the predictions. So data pre-processing, structure, missing values, normalization, EDA, flyers, seasonality, model selection, different ones, model training, model validation, model deployment. A very step-by-step approach, I'd say. Awesome. Cool, that was a lot. This was probably the longest conversation I had here, but it was a good one. As you can see, natural language to SQL that took a different branch. Cool, couple more. So this is a meeting note summarizer. So you'll be provided with meeting notes, and your task is to summarize the meeting as follows. So overall summary, action items, what needs to be done, and who is doing it. This is critical to work. If applicable, list of topics that need to be discussed more fully in the next meeting. So let me look here. Actually, let me zoom out a little bit. I was actually reviewing the United Nations General Assembly. So these are some different remarks by different presidents. I'm originally from Albania, so I had my the president here give a speech, and this was the prompt. Careful though, you might run out of length, right? As you remember, there's a length limit for these large language models. And this is the discussion, action items. This is President Biden. This was the input. This is where I ran out of length, actually, because his remarks were longer. So summary. So United States to continue pushing for reform in global institutions, ensure safe use of AI. Look at that. We made it to the United Nations. Strengthen alliances and partnerships around the world, and expand Security Council, including more voices and perspectives. And topics for next meeting, progress, updates on AI, on Security Council expansion, and alliances. And then this was the second part of the address. Let's see. So United States continue pushing infrastructure investment in low and middle income countries, work with other nations to manage competition, avoid conflict, particularly with China, and continue to efforts to combat climate crisis and help move the global economy toward a clean energy future. So next meeting, progress on partnership for Atlantic cooperation, counter drugs, investment, and combating climate crisis. Last one, the third one. I don't think I did this, did I? Okay. Submit. Oh, I think I reached the limit. Yeah, I think I posted so many here that GPT-4 has tokens per minute that I guess I exhausted of 1,000 per minute. Please try again in 6 milliseconds. I tried again in 6 seconds, but still I'm getting the same error, But just so you know, this thing can be resource intensive. All right, 3 more. You'll be presented with user reviews, and your job is to provide a set of tags from the following list. Okay. Provide your answer in bullet point form. Choose only from the list of tags provided here. and choose either the positive or the negative tag, but not both. So let's say, you're a online retailer and you want the reviews to be categorized, as positive or negative, but with your specific scoring mechanism in mind. So provides good value for the price, or costs too much, a positive, negative. Works better than expected, positive, or didn't work as well as expected. Includes essential features, easy to use, high quality, easy and affordable, easy to transport, easy to store, compatible with other devices, safe or user-friendly, excellent customer support, generous comprehensive warranty. Okay, let's look at some sample reviews. This I think is a made-up product. Incredibly easy to use and inflate. Some negatives. Not that durable, punctures safely. This looks like a inflatable, right? So all I want is from this text, and based on my company values here and my company score methodology, what are the tags I need to summarize? So easy to use, poor quality and durability, difficult to transport, difficult to store. Okay, so one pro, 3 negative. So obviously not a good selling product. Okay. I think I looked at this online on Amazon about the special machines. So looking at it, a lot of content, space requirement, making it, the beans, watching the gauge, okay, oof, cleaning it up, keeping things stocked, tips, wow, so many. I don't want to read that 5-page review, right? Maybe this is all I need. So provide good value for the price, works better than expected, essential features, easy to use, right? And all of them, if you notice, are from here. So it's either left or right. Easy to use, high quality and durability, easy and affordable to maintain, difficult to transport, of course it's so big, easy to store, safe and user-friendly, excellent customer support. Okay, another one, similar, and then this one was for another one too. So cost too much, didn't work as expected, poor quality, easy to store. As you can see here, me running into this limit again. But you can see maybe you're interested in a product and you have so many reviews on Amazon that's so lengthy, just put it here. And if this values on the left are what you're interested in, great. Maybe you're interested in a subset of them or a modified version of them. Cool. All right, second to last, pros and cons here. Analyze the pros and cons of remote work versus office work. Here we go. So remote pros, flexibility, commuting, productivity, health and well-being, cost saving. Cons, isolation, communication, distraction, work-life balance, dependence on technology. So this was just for remote. Office. Pros, collaboration, structure, networking, access to resources, mentorship. Cons, commute, fixed schedule, distractions, stress, cost. Okay, I didn't read all the output, but as you can see here. And then pros and cons of using credit cards versus cash. Credit cards, convenience, rewards, protection, building credit, emergencies. Cons, debt, fees, you have to be careful about them. Fraud risk, somebody can use your card without you knowing. Impact on credit score, late payments and all that. Cash, control over spending, no fees, anonymity, accepted everywhere. And that is not true. There are some places that only accept credit cards now, especially in the city. Cons, risk of theft or loss, right? No rewards, less convenient, no credit building. This is important. Okay. Pros and cons of ChatGPT versus BART. They are both models. ChatGPT and BART are both AI models. That is not true. See? Developed by OpenAI. BART is developed by Google. While both are language models utilizing similar technology, they have different functions, and thus their pros and cons can vary. ChatGPT, versatility, availability, continuous learning. Cons, context maintenance. Can sometimes lose track of the context in longer conversations. Yep. Literal interpretation. You may not understand sarcasm or nuances. Okay. Limited creative capacity, of course. BART storytelling focus. So BART is designed specifically for storytelling and text adventure games, making it ideal for those specific applications. And it's designed to be more creative. Cons, it's limited scope and availability, and same limitations on context. Okay, then cloud providers, GCP, AWS, Azure. Okay, GCP, data analytics, networking, pricing, limited toolset, smaller community, market share, AWS, market leader, maturity, large community, Cons, pricing, user interface, Azure, integration with Microsoft products, that's a good one. Enterprise agreement, hybrid solutions, Cons, complexity, documentation. Okay, and then for the phone lovers out there, I use Google Pixel phones for ever since I remember myself saying what are the pros of Google Pixel phones versus iPhone. So pure Android experience, easy early updates, Google integration, high quality cameras, competitive pricing. Yep, limited model options. That's okay. I only need one model. Build quality, maybe depends. You know, they've improved. They're not as good as iPhones. I'll give you that. The build quality, but they've improved over time. Limited accessories, sure. iPhones, ecosystem integration, build quality, app store, long-term support, resale value. Okay, if you're interested in reselling it, cons, price, limited customization, yep, closed system, and no native Google Assistant, which is a really good feature. Cool. So that was the pros and cons discussed, right? You see the prompts are very, very simple. And the last one, I have a lesson plan for introductory algebra class. You can imagine, you can customize this to whatever else you want to add. You should cover the distributive law, in particular how it works in simple cases involving mixes of positive and negative numbers, come up with some examples and show common student errors. Some materials, what you're going to need, objective, materials, whiteboard, student notebook, worksheets, 10 minutes, the rest instruction 15 minutes, guided practice 15 minutes, common student errors, independent practice, closure, homework, assessment. Wow, what a nice one. And then I said, write a lesson plan for an advanced course in large language models. Okay, for our audience. The lesson plan should cover extensive historical background on NLP, key milestones, papers, architectures, their size, training, year, data, time, infrastructure, company. It should conclude with an extensive overview of the current approaches and models, as well as strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so this is the objective, maybe PowerPoint, you have access online, here's your papers, introduction, lesson providing an overview of NLP, evolution of it, early days of NLP, Word2Vec, and then some influential papers like a neuroprobabilistic language model, attention is all you need, different architectures like LSTM, RNN, amount of data used for training, different models developed by Google, OpenAI, Facebook, current approaches, transfer learning, unsupervised learning, large language models, GPT-3 and BERT, architecture, training, and applications, strengths and weaknesses. They can generate human text but lack understanding of the underlying meaning. Then analysis, closure, summarize, answer any questions, homework, assessment. I did the same, but I just looked instead of natural language models, I said computer vision models. Literally, I kept the same prompt. So similar here, the papers are different, the terminology is different, convolutional neural networks, deep convolutional neural networks, and so forth, transfer learning, ResNet, Inception, EfficientNet, and all that. This was a good one. And then how was ChatGPT created? Historical background, so NLP, again, a little bit overview with the NLP lesson plan, attention is all you need paper, training process. I guess the best one is to actually look at the paper, the GPT paper, ethical implications, and recent research papers. Ooh, I feel I learned a lot here too, which was awesome. Okay, that was a lesson plan. Yeah, that was the last one. Let's see in the chat. Cool. Yeah, that was a lot. I hope you find them interesting. Again, these are meant for inspiration, right? You can take points, you can take marks, you can take something out of it and modify it based on your own use case. So that's what I liked about this. Cool. Then going back to our meetup here, this is this session. I'll go back to our events page. Next week we have a cool one. I named it Ask Your Company Anything. So we'll be building actually an AI assistant that will embed it, will feed it knowledge of our own company. In this case, will be OpenAI's public website. So we'll web scrape the entire content of OpenAI. There's around 1,000 links there. And as you can imagine, it has things about the products they have, their API, their customer stories, their pricing, their data privacy, anything you can imagine. And we'll ask it some questions, about their content they have online. So think of it as, in this case, I'm feeding data from a company's online presence. It could be, in your use case, maybe your own public company or your own public website. And then later on, as you'll see, we'll do the secure version of this, because right now this is going over OpenAI's API. Yes, they don't use your data to train your model, but still we want to keep it dual and triple secure. So we'll see how to do that. So this is a hybrid event. If you're in DC, you're welcome to join us. It's my company here, National Association of Realtors. I have a Zoom link as well if you want to join us online. So that's the first one. And then I have another one, never miss a meeting, I call this. So we've been using the chat completion API from OpenAI. Now we'll use the Whisper API. Whisper is a audio to text transcriber. So if you had a meeting, you missed it or whatever, or it happened a while ago and you want to summarize it, you want to see what was in my action item, think of it as Copilot. You've seen a lot of Microsoft updates from Copilot. In the back end, it uses something similar. So you will provide it with a meeting recording, and we'll be able to get a summary. We'll be able to get next steps. I'll share the code here, so we can see it live. And then we have another one. I'll chat about it more, but yeah, you see we have a agenda-packed session here, and I'm hoping we'll have one more for December before we take a break for Christmas and all that and holidays. So lots of great content. And again, as I mentioned, the recording will be on this playlist if you want to review it later. And as we use more of these AI technologies, maybe we can give an AI summary out of all our meetups. So if you don't want to hear me talk for an hour, if you just want 5 sentences, maybe I just provide you that. Cool. I'll stop sharing here. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, let me know. But I'll stop the recording for our friends online, and I'll leave the floor open for questions.